Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker. Thank you so much for joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. And you know, one of those things that we do, we get to enjoy so many different things here in South Louisiana, but we don't always realize how much effort and work goes into it and how many of those people are actually all volunteers. And so I am very glad to have with me first Ron Bourgeois, a really good friend from college. Ron, who is the Thibodaux Volunteer Fire Department president of the fire board, correct?
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Ron. Sitting next to him, the vice president, which very often we hear the vice president does a whole lot more to work. We're going to figure that out here in a minute, Mr. Jimmy, if that's the case. Jimmy Leday, who's the vice president over at the fire department. And sitting next to him, somebody who never needs an introduction, the chief. Chief Brian Zarang, Thibodaux Police Department, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it. Now, look, it's really important for us to start with a little bit of history. So, Ron, fill us in about what the history is of Thibodaux Fire Department and how that leads into the Fireman's Fair.
Okay, so Thibodaux Volunteer Fire Department was formed with Fire Company Number 1 back in 1858.
Wow.
So quite a few years ago. It was formed, another fire company was formed, Protective Fire Company Number 2, then Home Hook and Ladder Fire Company Number 1, which the three got together and formed Thibodaux Volunteer Fire Department.
Okay.
Once the fire department was formed, of course, as the years grew, we added VCH Fire Company, and so on.
Right.
And as far as the parade and fair, so obviously when you have a fire department, you have to have a fundraiser
Right.
to be able to keep it going. Now, our fire department is 100% volunteer. We're made up of about 475 members currently.
475.
Yes, sir. And that includes our exempt members, which are members that have served their time, they're lifetime members.
Right.
Our oldest member, Mr. Delton Prejean, 96 years old.
Yeah, right, almost
all the way
100, that's
down
right.
to our 16-year-old probie members that are just joining.
Okay.
And so, I mean, we don't have 475 active members,
Right.
but when it comes to getting the work done, we get it done. So
Sure.
our membership, we've got a lot of firefighters, and we've got a lot of firemen that are not firefighters, but they
Right.
step up to the plate when it comes time to fundraising. The parade started back in sometime in the 1800s. I don't know the exact date, but it was prior to the Civil War.
Right.
And this became a tradition, and it was always scheduled for the beginning of May, first Sunday in May, which led into the fair. The fair's been going on for over 100 years as a fundraiser. First fair raised just under $300, which back then was a lot of money.
Oh, absolutely.
And to where now we're tapping on the $1 million mark.
Wow.
But those funds are much needed. I mean, to operate a fire department, it costs
Right.
a lot of money.
Sure.
You know, one pumper, one truck that we're running now, I mean, costs, I think the last one we bought, just a standard pumper, was a little over $500,000.
$500,000 for a truck.
We also spend a lot of money on training.
Right.
We keep our guys trained the best we can. We hire a professional company to come in
Right.
to do training. They bring in knowledge that our local guys don't have, that we're able to pass on, and
Right.
and we learn, pass on to our members. We put in about 4,700 hours of training last year. Despite
Wow.
the fact that we didn't have a fair for the last 2 years.
Right.
We had no fair the last 2 years. 1 year was because of COVID, the second year was because of
Sure.
Hurricane Ida. Unfortunately, we had a lot of damage to our fairgrounds and fire stations and whatnot.
Right.
But still managed to put in 4,700 man-hours of training. We responded to, like I said, just under 700 calls, including carbon monoxide calls around the storm,
Right. A lot of those
rescue
went up.
calls,
Right.
a lot of false alarms, and not too many major structural fires. We were lucky, blessed on that.
That's a good.
But I tell you, the money we spend on training, we're seeing the dividends on the fire scenes. I mean, our guys are getting there. We're saving property. We're putting out the fire really quick.
Right.
Cutting down on, less chance of any fatalities.
Right.
And so again, I can't be more proud of our membership. And the guys have really stepped up.
And the efficiency of that,
Yes.
being able to do that, especially in a world where you don't have the Fireman's Fair for 2 years, and so thank God it's coming back. But y'all have been able to really spend some time and energy. And now Jim will roll in these pictures. Let's talk a little bit about some of that training as we talk about
Right.
these pictures as they roll in, Ron.
So our director of training is Samuel Clausen. Sam's doing a tremendous job with our guys. He relates really well with the young guys as well as the older guys. We do have some pretty intense training. Like I say, on-scene training is a company that we bring in 2 or 3 times a year.
Right.
It's not cheap, but again, we are seeing the dividends.
Right.
It's well worth every penny we're spending. We train pretty much every week. Every week there's some kind of training going on that's available to our members. We have a couple of programs that we have started. We have a Pro-B program where we bring in young guys, so 16, 17-year-olds,
Right.
High school students. They come in, they train with us, they have gear with us, they can respond to calls. They just can't go into the hot zones. That's been a great program. Student Firefighter Association at Nichols. Nichols recognizes them as an official organization on campus. I think hats off to Randy Pate for putting all of that together for us and starting the Pro-B program. Those guys have been a tremendous asset to our fire department. They're the guys that are fighting the fire. They're the interior firefighters. I mean,
Wow.
these are the guys. These are the 18 to 25-year-olds that are getting it done. But with that being said, we also have the older guys. The guys like Chris Riviere and the guys like Glenn Como, and we've still got a lot of older guys that are interior firefighters that have been able to pass their knowledge down to these guys.
Well, we wouldn't be where we are today without knowing what that history is. Let's talk about the importance of what the Fireman's Fair is and what it does for the fire department.
Thanks, Keith. The most important thing is the fair is back.
I know that's
after
right.
a couple of years. And so the weather forecast looks really good this weekend. So, hey, folks can come out and enjoy themselves, enjoy time with their families. And, as we start into the fair, I have to thank Foy Learad. Foy Learad has been our fair chairman for over 20 years.
Wow.
This is his last year doing it. So
Okay.
we owe a lot of thanks to Foy for his dedication and his service to the fire department for many, many years. Many, many years. Our Grand Marshal is Danny Cavell, local attorney.
Yes.
He's actually has the distinction of being the Grand Marshal for 3 years.
3 years. Yeah, that's exactly right. Because he was scheduled to be the Grand Marshal 2 years ago, right?
A very unique distinction.
Okay.
And he's been working very hard to get our auction to be successful with many, many big sponsorships. We have a 5K race on Saturday morning. And the first 100 kids can run for free. Their registration is covered in order to help encourage young people, which is great. We have a fair poster we've had for many, many years. E.A. Angelos has taken care of that for us, and that's a very limited edition that's available at the fair. But when you think about the Thibodaux Fair, what do you think about? It's a couple of things. First of all is food. Oh my goodness.
FFF, Fireman's Fair Food.
18,000 hamburgers. And that fair burger is something really, really special.
Listen, my wife likes to go to it just for the fair burger.
You got it.
I'm telling you, that's her thing.
You got it.
You think it would be me, the food guy, right? No, that's her thing. That's why we go.
Crawfish pies, shrimp stew, shrimp creole, crab cakes, jambalaya, turkey legs, all kinds of different things to eat. So all that's available at the fair. Of course, the rides. The talk of Thibodaux right now is the big roller coaster. 3-story roller coaster. I think we have a picture of that to show.
Yep, that's it right there.
It's massive.
Wow.
And it's the talk of the town right now. We have pay one price. Every night.
That people can ride that massive roller coaster over and over and over again.
Yes.
Depending on how long the line is, maybe it's over.
Yes.
And over.
And there's a mega pass. First time we do that, which is $75, which allows you to ride anytime during fair hours. $75.
$75.
So that's the whole time. That's going to be great. Of course, we have our raffle every year. We have a raffle, which is a big, big part of our fundraising activities. A $15,000 grand prize. Tickets are still available, but they're getting to be pretty scarce.
It's getting short. Okay.
Yes. And how about music?
Yeah.
Oh yes, the chief
talk
can
about
talk
the
to
line.
music, but
Yeah,
I tell you
yeah,
what.
okay, yeah. Well, Chief can talk music and Chief can share music.
Absolutely.
Right?
Every night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, during the day, we have music, and of course, admission is free at the fair.
Right.
No admission. Thursday night is the Home of Terrebonne Stage Band, so a local group here, and Velvet Sky. On Friday, it's country music night. That's what I call it, from some up-and-coming country music people, Elise Harper and Dylan Carmichael.
Okay.
And our headliner Friday is Chris Cagle. Everybody knows
Yeah.
Chris Cagle.
I mean,
So come on out Friday night.
that's almost as big a name as Brian Zerang.
Just
I
about.
don't know. Yeah.
Just about. Just about. And Saturday, a lot of local bands from Soul Survivor and Snapper and the Fish Sticks. And our headliner on Saturday is LaRue. And by the way, I'll plug their new album. If you haven't heard their new album, it's really, really
Okay.
good music. It's I don't know, I think it's some of their best work.
No kidding.
And I encourage people to come out and hear what is really somewhat of a local band, but really good music, LaRue.
Yeah.
And on Sunday, it's a lot of I call it your swamp pop type
Right.
music,
It's
which is our
Cajun
tradition.
Day.
Cajun Day at the fair on Sunday. And of course, it ends with the raffle.
Right.
So, that ends up our fair.
Right.
It's an amazing event, as many people know. We're so glad to have it back up and going. Would really, really encourage people to come out.
Very good. Yeah, and so we're going to put the flyer up in just a second.
Sure.
And certainly want to let people know what they can do and what they expect. I love the fact that it's free, that you can come out and experience all of this wonderful music for free, but you're going to need to eat. And if you're a thrill rider, you probably need to save $75 to get that mega pass. So put that flyer up, Jen, if you don't mind. Again, it is the Fireman's Fair, back for the first time in 2 years. It will take place for all of the weekend coming up, April 28th through May 1st. And so, again, it starts on Thursday, April 28th. The theme here is Stop, Drop, and Let the Good Times Roll. Of course, live music, just went through all of that by Jimmy. Going over that, there is a pay one price for rides. It is the Fireman's Fair, so you can expect wonderful food, drinks, lots of games, a live auction as I mentioned, the $15,000 raffle, the main prize for it. There's the parade on Sunday, which you talked a little bit about. There's the 1 mile and 5K run walk. First 100 kids to sign up, and that's kids under the age of 18. They get to do that for free.
Yes.
And so we want people to get out there early. Maybe that's the other thing, is getting them out early, right? So they sign up for that and get out there early. Of course, lots of wonderful sponsors, which we're thankful for and appreciative of. But it is at the Thibodaux Fire Department Fairgrounds, that is. And just really excited about that. Guys, parade, and maybe a little bit about the auction as well.
So on Sunday at 11 o'clock, we're going to line up along Menard Street in Thibodaux. Our parade, which again is one of the longest running parades that we know of, possibly in the United States.
Right.
We are going to be led by our Grand Marshal, Mr. Danny Cavell, on a horse, along with 8 what we call Marshal's Aides, which is a representative from each of the 8 fire companies that make up the Thibodaux Volunteer Fire Department.
Right.
Following them will be our past Grand Marshals,
cool.
which are tremendous supporters of our fire department.
Right.
Very, very, very key to our fundraising efforts, all of our past Grand Marshals. And then behind them is going to be the fire department. This is an opportunity for all of our members. We dress in our uniforms. We show off our equipment. It's a very gratifying day. We walk through the streets of Thibodaux, and people show their appreciation for what we do for them. It's a very emotional day for me. I mean, I've been a member of the fire department since my 18th birthday. My grandfather was a member.
Wow.
My brother's a member. I mean, we got probably 4 generations or so. My son's a member.
It was the first
it's,
thing I ever remembered about you in college. I'm telling you, it was just one, because that's just so impressive.
Yeah.
That lineage of being so proud to be a firefighter.
Yeah, no, I'm very passionate about it, and I'd like to pass that down to the next generation, and that's what keeps us going. So anyway, we're going to parade through the streets. We'll start on Menard Street. We're going to proceed down to, we're going to cross Canal Boulevard, go
Okay.
up 5th Street to Jackson, from Jackson to on to St. Mary Street, down to Tiger Drive, and then we finish at the fairgrounds at Tiger Drive. Our fairgrounds are located at the corner of Tiger Drive and Parish Road
Right.
in Thibodaux. And we have the auction. The auction's a huge part of our fair. The last auction made up about 50% or so of our proceeds.
Wow, that's
we
awesome.
are able to, the vendors at Thibodaux are so generous. Every time we ask for something, they're more than happy to donate.
Right.
So we go out, we collect auction donations. The friends of the fire department, friends of the Grand Marshal. We have hunting trips, we have fishing trips, we have swings, we have barbecue pits, we have, I mean, just tons and tons of things that people have offered up. hunting trips, week stay at their ranches, those types of things. So
Right.
it brings in big money. Like I said, our auction made over $500,000 last fair.
Unbelievable. $500,000.
Yep. And so we have an auction on Saturday night from 6 to about 10
Right.
on Saturday night. And then on Sunday, immediately following the parade, which is about 1:15 or 1:30, we'll crank up the auction on Sunday. It's an indoor auction. Everyone's invited.
Right.
And it's very entertaining. Head auctioneer is Buddy Leday.
Yep.
Buddy does a great
Buddy's
job.
awesome.
Our auction chairman is Trey Shields. Trey does a phenomenal job with the auction. And we have a really good crew that works the auction. We know how, we've been doing it for a long time, so it really works out great. So, and again, thanks to Mr. Danny Cavell and his family, because they really were instrumental in securing a lot of those really nice auction items for us.
Right.
So,
Good. A really big deal. And so the fair is going to be fun, but we're also going to make sure that people are going to be safe. Right, Chief?
Absolutely. Some changes that we've done, and it's to promote safety for the family and friends that are coming to support the fair.
Okay.
So something that we're going to start this year for the first time. We were going to start at the last fairground last year, but of course, with everything that went on, we didn't have it.
Right.
We're going to have private security that's going to handle the gates.
Oh, my.
So
Okay.
there will be bag checks, things that won't be permitted. It's going to be any backpacks or satchels. Purses no larger than 12 by 12 will be
Okay.
allowed in. They're going to be checked, of course. You will be warned as you come in just to make sure. No weapons whatsoever. No guns, no blades, no blunt objects, and those flat gun that they started coming out with, you know what I'm talking about, that
Yeah.
is a big issue now. So
Right.
we're not going to allow any of that. No use of lasers. No glass containers, because there's no reason for you to bring anything on because all the great food and drink that you have at the
Everything
fair.
is there, baby.
No ice chests, no food and drink to come in, no bicycles entering the premises, and no animals except for service and support animals.
Right.
So those are the only ones going to be allowed on the fairgrounds. Again, we want to make it as safe as possible. So we're telling people, be prepared. It's the first time we're doing this.
Right.
This is going to allow us to have more police presence on the outer perimeter as well as on the fairgrounds by having private security handle gates, because in the past we were doing both, trying
Right.
to handle the gates and all at the same
Right.
time. So this is going to alleviate that to help. But we want to tell people it's going to be safe, it's going to be fun. At night, a lot of lighting. We're going to have lighting all around the fairgrounds, all the parking areas going to be well lit, and we're going to have outer perimeter guys patrolling and stuff. So it's going to be a great time. We're looking forward to it. The weather's going to be great. I can't wait because it's been a long time, and like I said, I'm a member of the fire department too, and it's just fun to see people come out and enjoy themselves, and the respect that you have when you're going, like Ron and them would say for the parade, that the respect
Right.
you have when the people appreciate the job that we do, because it's all volunteer.
Right, and always has been, and that's the wonderful thing. Jen, put the flyer back up one more time. I want people to know if they are interested in wanting to go. Again, it's a Fireman's Fair. It's going to take place Thursday, April 28th through Sunday, May 1st. Stop, drop, and let the good times roll. We were so very glad Jimmy went through that whole lineup. Just some wonderful people. Chris Cagle on Saturday, Chris Cagle on Friday. And LaRue on Saturday, some great bands. Swamp Pop all day on Sunday. And really being able to appreciate what the Fireman's Fair has to offer. And it's such a large event. Brian, thank y'all for what you're doing to make sure that it's safe for everybody
Thank y'all.
there.
And we felt important to come with the fire department and explain to the public about the new safety procedures we put in place.
Right.
Because it's important. We want everybody to enjoy themselves, but feel safe at the same time.
Absolutely. For all of you, for what you do and what you've always done, thank you. This is the celebration for you. Raise a lot of money. Take care of the fire department from now and in the future. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, guys.
thank
you.
you. Keith.
All right, guys, that will do it for this particular edition of Bayou Time. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming here on HTV.